Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Bujumbura in Burundi. Now, Bujumbura is a special city here in Burundi. It's the largest and the most populous city, but it's also a capital city. Burundi is one of those countries that has more than one capital city. We can see Gitega over here. That is now the official capital city of Burundi. But Bujumbura is the economic capital, and we'll explain why that is. But first, Bujumbura is actually two different provinces here in Burundi. The city of Bujumbura is known as Bujumbura Mairi. The rest of it over here is known as Bujumbura Rural. But we're going to do both in the same video. Also, unfortunately, there aren't really any photos in this area on Google Earth. Not even in the city. There's really nothing really significant to show you, which is really unfortunate. So I filmed myself showing you the highlights on Google Earth to intersperse those throughout this geography portion. I'm just sad that we don't get to see more of Burundi. But let's take a look at this first one. We can see that Bujumbura is located here Burundi is located here in Central Africa, just before Southern Africa. Bujumbura is located along the shores of Lake Tanganyika, which is the second deepest lake in the world. Lake Tanganyika also borders the Democratic Republic of the Congo over here. Further down, it borders Zambia and Tanzania down here. Lake Tanganyika, which is of course part of the African Great Lakes region, including Lake Malawi, Lake Victoria's just up here, along with many others. Lake Kivu's just up here. There's a lot of lakes in this area, and that is because this corner of Africa here, think like the Horn of Africa, is actually breaking apart from the rest of the continent, and in millions and millions and millions of years it will be its own new island continent. I don't know, we probably won't be around to see it, to name it, but it's happening here in Earth's crust. Bujumbura Mairi, city of Bujumbura, is located in a natural region, as they call them in Burundi. There's 11 natural regions. It's known as the Imbo, which is essentially just this shoreline along Lake Tanganyika, and it's a very flat region because it's shoreline, so it's not very mountainous. Bujumbura is also Burundi's main port. Since Burundi is landlocked, it does not have a coastline. It relies on the lake to send ships out to trade with the other cities along the lake and send it out to the sea, and also bring things in to Bujumbura as well. Bujumbura Rural has the 3 natural regions that we talked about last week in Burundi. I'm going to link my Bubanza video up in the corner there because we're going to reference a lot of things in it tonight, including these 3 regions. So the rural area, of course, has the Imbo along the shoreline here. It has the chain of mountains here in the middle, known as the Mumirwa, and then the foothills region, known as the Mugamba. Now here in the Mumirwa region, we have Mount Heha, which I think is on this map here, yeah. Mount Heha is the tallest mountain in Burundi. It has a great slideshow on Google Earth, so we'll look at that now. But the Mumira is known for its large peaks, which you can also find some great mountains in the African Rift area due to the, Earth's crust splitting apart and all that. Bujumbura Rural also kind of hooks around the city of Bujumbura and includes this area up here where the Rusizi River flows from Lake Kivu down to Lake Tanganyika and creates this little delta area. And there's a nice slideshow there as well that we can take a look at. It's like the same picture over and over again, it turns out, but it's some great photos of some hippos and some great photos of the lakes. So I want to make sure that you check it out because it's really pretty, I think. Sadly, that's it for slideshows on Google Earth. It's really sad, but Burundi is one of the, if not the poorest country in Africa. And that is really due to its history. So let's get into why that is and, why there's not a lot of slideshows here in this corner of the world. Bujumbura actually started off as just a little town until the Germans arrived in the late 1800s, claiming this area for their empire, making it a colony. They renamed the town to Bujumbura for whatever reason. I guess it was easier for them to pronounce, I suppose. And it was their outpost here in German East Africa. During World War I, the neighbors over here, which was part of Belgium at the time, invaded the German areas here. And they got to keep them after World War I, so it became this extra Belgian area known as Rwanda Urundi. And the administrative center was here in Bujumbura, or Bujumbura at the time. They would change the name back to Bujumbura in 1992 when Burundi gained its independence. Now, sadly, once Burundi gained its independence, its government was not exactly stable. And in 1993, there was a coup in which the president was killed and plunged the country into a civil war that would last until 2005. The main issue of the civil war was cultural differences that was instigated by the colonizers, mainly between two of the people groups here, known as the Tutsi and the Hutu. They both wanted representation. They had been treated very unequally during the colonial times. And it reached a boiling point, and it turned into essentially a genocide. And it was very violent. Events would escalate things constantly. One of them being a plane crash where the presidents of Rwanda and Burundi lost their lives. That started the conflict in Rwanda. Definitely a lot more famous than the conflict here in Burundi. I think just because of the sheer scale and speed of the genocide in Rwanda, it was more shocking to the world than what was happening in Burundi, I think. But there were many atrocities committed here in Bujumbura and the area around it. Children taken from their homes and made to be soldiers, bombs, attacks, things like that. It was pretty awful. But peace came in 2005, and it's not 100% stable, but we're at like 90% stable. Bujumbura is on the up and up. It's slowly growing. But the current president of Burundi declared that this would no longer be the capital city, it would be Gitega. And that is because Gitega was the seat of the Kingdom of Burundi. It was essentially the capital of Burundi before the Germans arrived and the Belgians, making this their capital. We talked a lot about the Kingdom of Burundi in the last video here in Bubanza. So be sure to check that out if you want to know more about that. But in 2018, the capital was officially moved here to Gitega. But a lot of Bujumbura's economy, I keep saying it interchangeably, lots of Burundi's economy relies on Bujumbura. Again, it's the largest city, it's the most populous, and it's the country's port. So that is, oh my gosh. Can you hear the wind outside? That's the wind. That is so wild. Anyway, it's the economic center of the country, right? So the political capital is here in Gitega. The economic capital is Bujumbura. So if you were taking like a quiz on world capitals in 2025, the year I'm filming this, what's the capital of Burundi? It is Gitega. But it's also technically Bujumbura. I think if you put Bujumbura, you would not get your test marked incorrect. It's been the capital for such a long time, and the change was quite recent, and it's still technically a capital of Burundi. So that, in a nutshell, is the history and geography of Bujumbura Mairi and Bujumbura Rural. Sorry, this was kind of a shorter video. The next video won't be though, because next time in this series we're heading to Uzbekistan to see one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It's Bukhara. To me, Bukhara and Samarkand are just stunning. The mosques there are so beautiful, and if you haven't seen them, you're gonna want to subscribe so you won't miss out. But thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up. I would appreciate it so much, because the smaller African countries don't get a lot of traction on my channel. Burundi is actually the least watched country on my channel, so thumbs up helps to boost this video in the algorithm and hopefully spreads it to others so that they can learn about Bujumbura and Burundi. Also, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd love to read your comments. It's the best part of my day, too, when I check the comments. I hope that, sorry for my tummy, I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational, and I hope that you have a good